William McNeil Jr. He's getting pulled over, and thank you, Pac. He didn't have his headlights on during inclement weather. And just an FYI to everybody out there that's like, what? It's law in Florida. If your wipers are on, your headlights have to be on too, okay? On top of that, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, okay? So now all you're getting, and mind you, this incident happened months ago. He waited a month and then just posted this one piece of content to get the public pissed off, and this is when he starts. Go ahead, Rob. Play it.
Look, he keeps looking into his own
Stop. Go back a little bit. Go for it. Go ahead.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all, and then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Says there's no rain. There's water on the window up top of the sunroof.
Yeah.
Can you call your supervisor? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Oh, damn.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here. I'm here. What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. All right.
No, resisting arrest. Resisting arrest, fighting the cops.
Stop fighting.
Put your hands behind your back.
Okay, fighting the cops.
Hands behind your back.
Okay, now, you guys see this video. If you just see this, what are you seeing? How deceiving is social media? You see this, and oh my God, the cops are bad.
That is very disturbing.
Mind you.
Disturbing.
By the way, the cop that hit him, PBD, with the hit, he's under investigation. He was relieved of duties. That's being dealt with. But now, what you guys didn't see. And Rob, can you play the clip that I sent you?
Yeah, and just so you know, where the actual window breaking happens is more than 6 minutes into the traffic stop.
Yeah, so this, but Bob, I sent you one that has.
I got it.
Okay, yeah. So remember, almost 6.5 minutes of dealing with this guy. And so watch, they're gonna show you this. I want you guys to see this, and I'm gonna say my piece. Go ahead.
Can you call your supervisor? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Okay, now watch this.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights, and it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement.
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No.
Call your
No.
supervisor.
No.
Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor.
Step out of the vehicle.
Step out.
Step out of the vehicle.
Look. No, and then okay. Locks the door. Watch this. Watch this, Tom.
Just slam the door and lock it.
Call your supervisor.
I've already told you. Right now, you're under arrest for resisting. Sir, this is your last warning.
Watch this.
Open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window.
2 times.
Open the door and
3
exit, or
times.
we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit.
4
you
times.
are under arrest for resisting. Open the door
5
and exit.
times.
You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door
Guess what?
and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. I'm about to break the window.
Okay, now, guys. Okay, so see how this went. And then Rob, I'm gonna have you play the sheriff in a second. But guys, he just like pulls out the phone. Okay, posts it online like he's the victim. Okay, and then the internet goes crazy. The officer, like I said, is gonna get in trouble. But here's the thing, and I want everybody to understand this. If you're getting pulled over and they're asking for your driver's license and you're thinking, just listen, if you have no warrants, you have a valid license, just comply. He could have been on the road in 5 minutes, okay?
Hello everybody, you're listening to Alfred's daily Q&A live stream podcast. This is a daily live stream that's is also packaged as a podcast. I live stream right now on Instagram. Sometimes I might move to live stream on another platform, perhaps TikTok or whatever. But right now I live stream on Instagram, and then it is also packaged as a podcast for posterity. So anyone years later in the future can still listen to what was being said. So in these live streams, I start off with a topic, or I kick off with a topic or theme, or a series of topics I want to talk about. That's how I do for every live stream. And in between, you can ask any questions during the live stream, and I'll be answering your questions depending on how reasonable they are, you know. And also, if a live stream is over, you can post questions in previous live streams, or you could just contact me by email, and any question you ask, I'll be answering it in a live stream. As for that is for non-business related questions, if you are going through my email, you know, and my email address is axalfredonline@gmail.com. Again, axalfredonline@gmail.com. So let's get to it. I'd like to talk about, you know, something I noticed, and it's basically about Officer Brandon Tatum. Now, I've seen and I've always loved a lot of Brandon Tatum's posts. You know, a lot of what he's been doing, I agree with a lot of his views. And that being said, currently now, he seems to be under fire on the internet. That but he's used to the pressure and all of that, especially as it's coming from, you know, people who don't know what they are talking about. It is on this issue with this guy, you know, there's a video circulating, the video that circulated and is still circulating, of a guy that's a quote-unquote African American at a traffic stop, who the cop broke through his window, you know, and punched the guy. You know, so this is an African American, and a cop uses his elbow, breaks through the windshield, and punches this guy. When you look at it from that perspective, when you look at that, it is just crazy. It is injustice. It is, you know, injustice. It is terrible. You know, even when you look at that, I'll have to say something, because a lot of people will jump on the race dynamics first, you know. But why does it have to be race dynamics? If that was what was happened, if that happened, and that is how it happened, why do you jump on the race dynamics first? Because the cop is white and the guy is African American. It's a flaw. Given that, yes, African Americans have been, you know, after the slavery era, you know, and then the Jim Crow and all that, you know, struggling to be treated as equal citizens. Due to that, there's their view of the world, and those who push that narrative, you know, a lot of the leaders in the African American community have pushed that narrative of they versus us. So that kind of thing has distorted a lot of people's view, because if we are looking at it like, you know, a cop uses their elbow, breaks the windshield, and punches somebody, shouldn't that be a matter of, you know, abuse of power by the police? Why do you have to add a racial angle to it? Why do you see that is not a racial issue on that level? Because first of all, the reality of the matter is that there are a lot of African American cops who treat others that way. And you have to look at it. You bring in the race dynamics. You don't know what's in the white man's heart. You don't see whether he's married to an African American or he has African American friends, or whether his motive is. You can't see that. But what you can actually see is the abuse of power on that scale. That is, if what he did was just breaking the window and punching the guy. That is what you see. Then we're talking to policing and how policing should be done, and, you know, policemen facing accountability so that there can't be abuse of power, and, you know, making it clear what are the rights of a citizen and what are the rights of the policeman, you know, as interactions. What is it? Because that is clearly not clear and obvious across the board. It has not been made clear what are the rights of a policeman, what lines can he not cross, and what are, you know, what is the expected behavior of a citizen. But that being said, that video is a doctored video. That is the edited video. The video that is circulating, that a lot of people see, And the people that are blaming and are calling Officer Tatum a bootlicker and all of that, I don't know if they have seen the full video. You know, Valuetainment posted the full video from the cop's perspective. The man, he used his, because a lot of drivers now have dashboard cameras, you know, and even like, you know, and it shows how technology has changed, that you can record things 24/7. You know, think about all the homes that have 24 hours recordings. Think about all the hotels, like, you know, you look at the Diddy lobby situation. The database to be recording anything and nothing non-stop, and to store all those recordings. So, and that is another thing. You have to be careful what you do and what you say in public, because you don't know who is recording. They may not be trying to record you, but they will catch what you are doing being recorded. But anyway, you know, that is just a side about how the world has changed and how everything is recorded nowadays. You know, so anyway, this guy, you know, has a dashboard camera, you know, a camera in his car, and he's recording. You know, he recorded, and come to think of it, you know, I don't quite know whether was that a phone camera or was that a car camera. That's a different thing. But that was his camera, and he edited that video. When you look at what happened with the cop, with the policeman, because the policemen in America are required to carry body cam camera. When you look at the body cam footage, you see a completely different story. First of all, the video was made so short, like if a lot of the interaction that happened didn't happen. This is a guy that was pulled over by the police. He starts arguing with the police. The police tell him to get down from the car. When the police tell you to get down from the car, you get down from the car. And this is why I say it is not clear, apparently. Even though it is clear, but some people, you know, it needs to be emphasized and taught to even the adults, not just kids, everybody in America, especially African Americans. They need to be re-educated on what are the rights of a policeman and what are the rights of the citizen. And, you know, there are certain things that you have to do. When you meet, you know, for the society to work, the cops have to have rights to perform stop and search if they get a tip on something suspicious and all of that. You know, there are certain things that the police should have the right to do. Now, if you want to take away the right of the police doing stop and search, that is your cup of tea. You can go through the legal channels and then make it an issue that you don't want police to be able to do stop and search. You don't want the police to be able to pull people over for not having their traffic lights on. You don't want the police to be able to tell people to step out of the car. If that is the word you want to bring to place, then you go through the legal routes and then you bring it to your congressman. You people vote for it and make it clear that to the politicians that these are the new laws you want, and then the laws will change. The laws are created by the people. But right now that it is against the law for a policeman to tell you to step out of a car in America, and for you not to step out, you are breaking the law. Resisting arrest is also breaking the law. A lot of African Americans, they rebel against the police in police interactions. It has become normal. And then there are people like Ben Crump who come, and even kids who, you know, a lot of the African American community, they don't look at the wrong things that these people do in their interactions with police. And even the George Floyd situation, they encourage bad behavior. They encourage disobedience to police. Disobedience to police is what is going to lead to escalating alterations. If you're a policeman and somebody, you're trying to get to the bottom of something, and someone is disobeying and not cooperating, is that not what criminals do? So you're making the policeman feel that you are actually guilty and you have something to hide. Keep in mind, we will not even get into the fact that the guy had drugs on him and he had a weapon, you know, not a gun, but a large knife or something under his seat, you know, which I'll even talk about later. But that being said, when you are doing that kind of thing, it creates, you know, more tension with the police, and they now suspect that, oh, you have something to hide. It's just like if you walk into the bank and you are shivering, you are sweating, you are suspiciously looking at the security man every 2 seconds. the police and the security will think, does this person want to rob the bank? That is, you are bringing it upon yourself. When you are disobeying the law, when you are acting that way, when you are arguing with the police, the policeman, tells you, can I see your license and registration? Okay, yeah, you let him see it. And stop putting your hand in places where it looks suspicious. Stop winding up your glass. And a lot of people use tinted glass. When you have a glass that is tinted and you wind it up, the policeman is not seeing you, but you can see him. So in his mind, he doesn't know if you are going to bring a gun and shoot him. Because keep in mind that a lot of times the police are nervous too. And they have been shot a lot. And there are a lot of stories about policemen getting shot that you do not hear. But they hear, and that is what they experience. So they know the danger, and that is part of their training. They know the danger they are in. When you wind up the glass, they cannot see you, but you can see them. They don't see what you are doing. You can quickly carry out the gun and shoot through the glass, and they are dead. They never get to see their family again. Their story is over. So they would do everything to make sure that that kind of thing does not happen, or they can see you at all times. So make sure your hands are where they can be seen at all times. Simple things. If you want a situation where you want a country where the policeman does not have the right to stop you, then make it clear to your politicians that you don't want that you want policemen not to be able to stop people on the road. And that is your cup of tea, because that now creates a world where there will be a lot of human trafficking, a lot of drug trafficking, and a lot of criminals that will now have access to kill you. Because one thing that they don't talk about is how many drug trafficking situations have been stopped that could have brought drugs into your neighborhood if the policeman did not catch a drug trafficker. Or how many people could have been trafficked, how many people could have been trafficked, perhaps even your kids. And the thing that is stopping all this is because of all this police session, all of that. Look at, ever since Trump got into office, there have been no illegal immigration. All the people that are illegally going into America, all those flooded people that Biden was like, and all of them say, I'll control the borders, all of that, acting like if it is impossible that there must be illegal immigrants. All of them stopped when Trump came into office, because Trump's own is that he's catching them and sending them to prisons in other countries. He's sending them to prisons in another country. All the ones that have already. So nobody is in the business of let me illegally travel to America. Because they know that as they are seeing you that is, if you, by some miracle you happen to get into America, ICE is picking you up and you are going to a jail in some strange country in some faraway land, which is going to put you in a worse situation. So all the illegal immigration has stopped. All the criminals, all the cartels that were trafficking, all the human trafficking, all the child traffickers, they have stopped. No more trafficking to America illegally. All the illegal trafficking has stopped because of the enforcement of the law. Do you know how many people, because of there's going to be police here, there's going to be police here, so let me not traffic or let me not take drugs from this state to this state and all of that. Now there are few people who do it, and some people get caught. But if you remove all those things, do you know what the crime will be like? So if that is your problem, you want a world where police do not have the right to stop and search you, that are not doing anything wrong, you are not trafficking anybody, then pass that law. But that law will affect everybody, including those who are trafficking people, including those who are killers and serial killers. So if that's the world you want, let that be that law. It's like people who are mad at Mayor Rudy Giuliani, when he was mayor of New York, of governor of New York, when he was doing stop and search, and it was like, they are racial profiling a lot of African Americans. The crime rates went down, the murder rate went down. But now look at what it is. Every time you hear this rapper died, how many African Americans are dying? The gangs are just killing in America, especially in New York. It's crazy. Because stop and search is racist. So they have a lot of kids carrying guns and shooting people left, right, and You bought that on yourself. Why is Dubai safe? Because the law is strictly enforced. You do a small thing like stealing a pencil in Dubai, you are in trouble for the rest of your life. That is the deport, it is over for you. The strict enforcement of the law has created such a safe society. Dubai is the safest place in the world. You can carry a bag of gold and just walk the streets of Dubai. Nothing will happen to you. Try that nonsense in any other country in this world. It is because of the forceful enforcement of laws, because of all this, and the cameras everywhere, they are studying everything, the high technology, everything in Dubai. So, you can't get away with crime, and that creates a beautiful place. So, if you are so gung-ho about this issue, take it to the politicians. But it is not when you are in front of the policeman you start arguing about this is your right and this is not your right. A lot of the things that you argue that are your rights are not your rights. And you forget about the policeman's rights. The policeman has the right to stop you and ask for your driver's license and registration of any citizen. He has that right. But you never think about that. But anyway, back to the video. When you look at the video, the full video, just look at the clip that Tatum posted. You will see that this guy started with arguing with the policeman. Then he closed the door. And you can see it clearly from the body cam. The cops could not see the inside. But whoever, the guy inside, clearly could see outside. Now, his glass is wind up. So the cop's life is in danger now. The cop gave him and was telling him, open the door or I'll break the window. Open the door, I'll break the window. He said it multiple times. He didn't say it once. He didn't say it twice. He was begging this guy. In spite of the fact that is not, he should have done it faster. He shouldn't have wasted all that time. Because in that short time, keep in mind, that guy had a knife there. If it was a gun, what was stopping him from bringing out the gun and shooting him? Go to, there are some police, if you go on YouTube, there are some police body cam YouTube channels that are, owned by, I guess, the police departments of certain parts of America. Look at body cam footage. There are a lot of shootings where police are shot. Those ones never hit the headlines. And it's because of those kinds of things, where the policeman is wasting time and trying to be nice and politically correct and be giving the person the benefit of the doubt. And the situation just turns ugly all of a sudden. The person asks for this, but it could be a stolen car. And so the person is just like, they give driver's license registration, or he gives papers, or is waiting, and all of a sudden, a situation that was quote unquote peaceful just turns into the guy just starts shooting at the policeman. And there are a lot of policemen who are shot. All those videos never go viral. Nobody ever talks about that and say, look at the policeman risking his life. How do we make policing safe for the police? Because it is not. At this point, it is sad. It is sad. That cop told that boy multiple times, wind down the glass, open the door, was telling him, or I'll break the window. He said it multiple times, well over 5 times or more, before he broke it. And why did he attack immediately? Because you have to punch or hit the person, because you don't know, you just broke the glass. You don't know if what they are going to do next. And, in your mind, you don't know if they have a gun or anything. So that was why he attacked and he punched him. And keep in mind, he's angry. So, in as much as that being said, the policeman was, is facing disciplinary action and all of that. In my opinion, the policeman should not face any disciplinary action, and the policeman should not be fired. The policeman should receive an apology and a raise. What he did is right. Why is it that it's only African Americans that are always having these problems with the law? They don't act right. It's terrible. And this is why when Africans send their kids to America, they want them not to hang around these African Americans. Because they will soon change and start becoming idiots like them. Joining Black Lives Matter protests that does not concern them. And the mentality, every single thing that is pushed in the African American community does not help you. If you have the mindset of Black Lives Matter, that means you believe that the system is against you. That means you believe you cannot succeed. You have justified your failure. You have justified your mediocrity. You cannot succeed when you have that loser mindset. That's why we have people like Naomi Osaka, the tennis player, because of what social justice warriorness. This is somebody that plays tennis. She wins tennis match. She says that tennis makes her. Now when she wins, she wonders, she just feels relief. She doesn't feel happy. Like is there more to life than this? Than winning. And when she loses the tennis match, she just feels miserable and she just feels sad. What kind of mentality is that for an athlete? Saying that she feels depressed when she loses a match. That is an athlete. And it is, of course, it is because of what they are teaching the African American. This woke nonsense. Because when you are seeing yourself as a victim and everything, the white man is against you, the system is against you, you deserve to just sit down at home and millions flood into your accounts. It is your right to sit down at home, do nothing, and millions enter your account. That mindset, that entitlement mindset, where you look at an Elon Musk and you are complaining, you have the nerve to post under Elon Musk post, this man is about to make $1 trillion. He's about to become the world's first trillionaire, and there are people who are poor. Shame on the people who are poor. Shame on all the people that are poor. Shame on all of them. Why can't you ask yourself, what is it that Elon Musk is doing that me too I can do as well? If you see that Elon Musk, and this is the problem. This how people are stupid. If you can see Elon Musk is about to become a trillionaire. Why? Because of his companies. So you are telling me that you are sure, you are 100% sure that the value of his companies is going to rise. Why don't you invest in his companies, you idiots? His companies are publicly traded. I am in Nigeria. Using the Bamboo app, I have the access to invest in Tesla and any American company using the Bamboo app. Even though I'm in Nigeria, Africa, you are in America and you are complaining. Shame on you. Shame on you. You are an embarrassment to all your ancestors. You are a disgrace to all your ancestors, all of them. Shame on you. You are in America and you are complaining. You have the nerve, and this mindset. Robert Kiyosaki once talked about two people drive to a filling station. One person drives to a filling station, sees the fuel price goes up. He complains, look at the fuel price is always going up. The price of gas is always going up. Blah, 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 blah. They go sad. Another person goes and says, the fuel price went up again. It's always going up. Let me buy shares in ExxonMobil. Let me buy shares in an oil company. You see the difference in mindsets. So you are telling me that you know that Elon Musk's wealth is going to increase. You are so sure of it. Why don't you invest also? This Twitter that you are using to gossip, do you know there are people who are selling products on it? Now you can monetize in such a way that you only pay for an ad through many of the platforms when a sale is made. So if you only pay for an ad when a sale is made, that means you can sell anything online. Just set up the monetization from ads funnel where you get paid when a sale is made, and make sure that what you are selling is higher. The price of what you are selling is higher than what you are spending on the ads per ad. So the costs per click for engagements, the engagement being the sale, the cost per click on the ad side is lower than the profit you are making from the sale. Then you have an unending stream of, you will always be advertising your products and always be making profits. That is the world we live in today. And you don't even have to have a business or a store. You can drop ship. You can sell anything and people will buy. That is the world we are in. and yet you are complaining about poverty in America. Shame on you. This is why Africans, those of you are complaining that why is it that African parents complain about their children hanging out with African Americans? Because they don't want them to learn this nonsense from you. Laziness. The wrong mindset. The mindset of a slave. Yes, I said it. That is what it is. You know, the reality about slavery is that no one can make anybody a slave unless they're a slave in their hearts. It's like a horse. All horses are were not created to be domesticated per se. At least they are naturally at first not domesticated. They are not domesticated animals. Horses are wild animals. But when you break them, when you get an animal from the horse and you break it, it subjects to you for the rest of the life. When you break its spirit once, it becomes domesticated for the rest of its life. All you have to do is break its spirit once. Then for the horses that are raised in captivity, they never have the spirit of the wild horse. They never have that spirit that needs to be broken. If it is raised in captivity, it has a different story. It is domesticated forever. And the same thing happens to humans. When Africans were taken to America, when they were broken, you know, but the human spirit is different. You know, there were those who rebelled, you know, but many of them, when it got to the point, because it takes time for some people more than others for their spirit to be completely broken. And, you know, humans can be re-energized and re-inspired, you know, again. So what was dead can come alive again, you know, through words and inspiration and all of that. So, but when the spirit was adequately broken of a slave, that slave was loyal to their master forever. That is the side of slavery they don't talk about. And then the ones that were raised in captivity, they were loyal. And that is why even after the slaves were set free, a lot of them remained with their masters. Even though it's like you are free to go, a lot of them remained loyal and stayed with their masters. You know, so these are the realities, and it shows you the relationship between humans and horses when it comes to spirits being broken. And whatever you do, don't be a slave. The spirit being broken is a thing of the heart. And that is, you know, the mentality that they're trying to teach you with the roots, you know, at least with the story of Kunta Kinte. You know, his spirit refusing to be broken. You have to understand this. Let your spirit not be able to be broken. You know, Jesus said, you know, do not be afraid of those who can destroy your body. You know, but it's God who can destroy both body and soul. You know, so you have to understand these things. You know, you are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. When people die, their spirit just moves into, you know, the spirit realm. You know, their spirits and their body separate. That is all that is. You know, so everyone lives on. You know, at least everyone's spirits. You know, but that is a topic for a different podcast. You know, that being said, African Americans need to change the whole situation. Always, we see these things. It is always, look at the situation with the African American who went to, you know, who oddly enough, his name was Kamala Anthony, you know, and I think Camelo, you know, I think both Camelo and Anthony, you know, because when I first hear Camelo Anthony, my mind goes to the basketball player, you know, but, you know, the new guy, the new young fellow that has destroyed that, you know, name, you know, that, you know, he went to a track meet to a tent with white people with a knife on him. Caused trouble and was like, you know, when they told him to leave, he said, make me. When they tried to get him away, which is their right and which is the right thing to do, he had no business being in that tent. He had no business being there. That was for the athletes of the other team, you know. He stabbed one of them. And African Americans came up and said, oh, racism, racism, racism. No, you are the one who, you know, this is the attitude you are encouraging. And this is why Africans don't want their kids mingling and getting that mindset from the African American kids. Because now you want your, you are supporting the kid. Even the kid's parents, the African American kid's parents were supporting him. So you are telling your kids that it is okay for you to go to a tent full of white people, make trouble, and then when they tell you to leave, you stab. As a matter of fact, even if it was a situation where the white people came to where your son was and they made trouble, this is high school or whatever, this is school setting, bullying is not new. Since when did it become okay for the response to be taking out a knife and stabbing somebody? And in this case, it was the son that was the bully. It's not a matter of he was outnumbered. He went into that situation. If I go into a place where there are a bunch of white bikers, and then I make trouble and pick a fight with one of them, and all of them beat me up, who started it? Who went to look for trouble? It's not me that carried myself there. You cannot ignore that and say I was outnumbered. No, it is me that saw trouble, that went there and looked for trouble and found trouble. So this is the things that people need to look at, because African Americans are now beginning to have a reputation for this nonsense, and it's affecting everybody. Just the same way the illegal immigrants that are from Africa that are going to America, Europe, and acting a fool and doing all kinds of nonsense. You are changing the perception of all Africans. You are making us look like animals, just like you are acting like an animal. So all this nonsense has to stop. All this nonsense has to stop. And bad behavior has to be discouraged. Even the case of George Floyd, people want to make a hero out of George Floyd. This was a criminal, a career criminal who had no hope of changing. I was not interested in changing. And the relatives that showed up to collect money when it was time to make bank, and of course there will be the brain crumbs who are always in all these cases, the lawyers that we want to make bread off of this, because that's how they have monetized their own brand, and they have made their own brand as lawyers, and they have their diversity points and their own investment portfolio they are building from handling all these kinds of cases. They are making a lot of bread, because they could not succeed if they were just to be, and they will not be as successful as they are now if they were just regular lawyers handling cases like everybody else, and having to compete with every other lawyer. So they are branded themselves into this niche area of law, social justice warrior lawyers, just civil rights lawyers. They are branding themselves this way, and they always have the media and their cronies and their friends in media that they always call and say, I have another one, and his money is made all around, because their favorite reporters will get the first stories and first takes and the interviews and all of that. So that being said, all of this nonsense has to stop. We need to call out the animalistic behavior of African Americans. Stop acting like animals and obey the law, and understand the rights of the police and your own rights and its limitations. A lot of rights for the police to be able to do their jobs, a lot of rights that you should in your mind have, you don't have. For example, a policeman telling you to stop when you have done nothing wrong and to search your car. That is something that a policeman can do. Another person cannot do it. To you have done nothing wrong, or perhaps you have committed you are just speeding, but the policeman has the right to do that. If you have a problem with policemen having these rights, then take it up through the legal system, take it up through the legislative system. Talk to your lawyers and congressmen that you want policemen to no longer be able to pull people over. So that is that. Remember to check out Alfred.vip for more. Thank you and God bless you.
Say this prayer audibly if you have not given your heart to Jesus Christ. Dear God, I believe in my heart that Jesus Christ
the Son of God, came, died, and was raised from the dead to save me. I confess him, Lord, over my life and ask you to give me your Holy Spirit to live within me. I receive your Spirit by faith and thank you for I am now born again. In Jesus' name, amen. If you just prayed that prayer, congratulations, you're now a Christian. Go to Alfred.vip and get resources that will help you with your work with God.